Welcome back and hello if you're new. Norway's Shining, not to be confused with the very different counterparts Swedish Shining, return with their brand new album Animal in 2018. An album that mixes just as much 80s electronica as it does absolutely huge riffs, which in turn creates a strange oxymoron of electronica, industrial, with some slight progressive tendencies. And this week I'm reviewing their brand new album, Animal. Never one to conform, Shining have consistently always gone against the grain, and Animal is probably their first move into what we could call the mainstream. I mean, as much as Shining as a band can be mainstream. What is most apparent in Shining's Animal is the inclusion of these synthwave style keyboards. Shining make inspired use out of this rather than treating it as a gimmick. Straight out of the gate we're greeted with Take Me, whose main riff is predominantly led by the keyboard attack, before the guitars are then introduced and the synths back off, only to come back and really kind of embellish the chorus. It's a brilliant dynamic that not only boosts the chorus, but makes the overall feeling of the synthwave really kind of pulled back, and not just an extra tacked on that the band sort of had as about an afterthought. Think if Marilyn Manson got stuck in Tron, and you'll be kind of pretty close to Fight Song, ironically. And there's a slight amount of Muse put in there as well that I could feel. The second half of Shining's allure is these really massive choruses and these huge riffs. It's an interesting one because particularly when I first listened to the record, I wasn't exactly blown away. I felt like some of the tracks were lacking and just overall didn't have that kind of punch. However, returning to it several times, it was revealed to me the chorus of single Animal. But in particular the emotional impact of When I'm Gone, which for me is probably my favourite track on the album. But because it's got such a fantastic melody that really kind of gets earwormed in your head, it is really such a brilliant showcase of what Shining can do when they're at the best of their songwriting ability. Nevertheless, there are some brilliant riffs, for example on Fight Song, where the bridge kind of introduces this totally different vibe and spins the song on its head, making it sound like a synthwave soundtrack to the apocalypse. However, the main section of Smash It Up does kind of sound a bit messy, with not only the vocals being overlaid, but the keyboards and those kind of like really fast-paced drums. It just doesn't quite come together as cohesively as it could have. What enables the band to not be classified as one of these arena rock acts is this slight sense of weirdness that the band have always had. A prime example being My Church, which opens with this kind of like blast beat ferocity, but then dials it back to this kind of like kind of very boot stomping groove that you would hear in arena rock. Similarly, the section in When the Lights Go Down opens with this kind of almost country style acoustic guitar, and you know, you'd think that we may be kind of going into a ballad, but actually the band turn it on their head once more. I also find it incredibly interesting that the band have such depressive lyrics. It's juxtaposed against the very uplifting melodies. A perfect example of these kind of very depressive lyrics is in final track Hole in the Sky. All the dreams we ever had, they fall and die and wither in the end. Stars will fade and love will die until we are but a hole in the sky. Really, you know, when you think about those kind of lyrics, it's such an emotional impact. You know, it sounds like such a positive song, but actually it's quite depressive, and I really kind of liked that. Not to mention the interplay between Linnea Dale and Jörgen Munkeby is absolutely brilliant. In many ways, you could argue that Shining's Animal shares a similar DNA to what we might hear on pop. With the songs being simplified to their bare bones, we've got not much room to really kind of work with getting into the pre-chorus or getting out of the chorus and this is something that the band really do excel at. For example, the ending of the chorus section of Animal, which leads it perfectly right back into the verse. But it's not just the distortion that kind of brings a dynamic into the way that the bands kind of go into these transitions, it's also the keys. For example, on Fight Song, where the keys really do make the most of this kind of building sense before the pre-chorus. There are also other classic elements of pop, and one in particular that I noticed was on the final track, Hole in the Sky, where there's this big key change, and that's a classic characteristic of the final chorus of pop, to really reach that listener. However, there are some elements, for example on Everything Dies, whose riff-heavy sections take over that kind of synth sound and really kind of are a bit too overbearing, which kind of distracts it from the band's positives and maybe highlights the negatives somewhat of this album. Animal overall brings the industrial stylings of metal with a sprinkling of prog and a whole heap of 80s electronica synthwave. Nevertheless, there are some tracks which do kind of let the album down somewhat. If you're curious, you'll definitely enjoy it, but this isn't quite album of the year material that we've been having so far. And for that reason, I'm going to give Shining's Animal a 3 out of 5. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, hit that like and subscribe button. Thank you so much for watching. Yeah, drop a comment. I'll see you guys next week for another review. Alright, take care.